Hello, and welcome to Consciously Awesome Living. I'm your host, Sheila Applegate, manifestation life coach and the creator of Consciously Awesome Manifesting Adventures. And we're helping you design the life you deserve, which of course is the life you desire. This season, we're going to discuss an essential aspect of manifesting your deepest desires. Last episode, we discussed imagination because really it all starts with imagination. If you can't imagine what you want, then it isn't going to be possible to create it. So, as you were imagining the life that you desire, whether it's a tiny aspect of it or the overall life, you may notice that following that, you are presented with some beliefs that pop up, some that you may recognize and some that might be unfamiliar. We need to really check in and make sure that your beliefs are all in alignment with what you are calling in or co-creating, manifesting. There's so many languages, so many ways to describe just being able to claim that most brilliant life you desire. So today we're going to explore these beliefs. And we're going to begin with a little story from when my children were young. One summer afternoon, probably, my children were out playing. And then Justin walked in, about 4 years old at the time. And Justin had this big grin. And they said, I just planted my apple seeds in the backyard. So next summer, we will be eating apples off of our very own apple tree in our backyard. There was so much excitement in this little child's smile and voice. It made my heart bubble up. And then Sarah, who is a couple years older and a little bit wiser to the way of life on earth, said, "That's not how it works. Mommy, tell Justin that's not how it works." And in that moment, I was faced with a decision on which fluid belief I was going to align with in that moment. We'll talk about fluid beliefs in a little bit. Because, of course, I have been living on Earth for quite some time, and I know that it's very unlikely that a little apple seed out of your apple planted just under the surface of the dirt is going to grow into a full fruit-bearing tree in 1 year. I had a choice to tell Justin about how there are limitations on Earth and that isn't going to work that way. But there was something inside of me that said, look at your other beliefs. And my other belief that was very profound at that moment was that I believe that there are possibilities that I don't yet understand. And I believe that children come in with a soul vibrance and understanding of where we're going to be in the future. And I also believe that it's important to stay open to possibilities that seem like miracles to us. And I believed that I wanted to tell my children about those possibilities. So instead of saying, that's not how it works, you'll never grow an apple on that tree next year, I said to both of them, well, let's see, because yeah, usually it does take much longer to grow an apple on a tree. And you would think that that's not going to happen. But maybe Justin knows something that I don't know. And we just don't know all the things that will align over the year to see what happens. And so we stayed open. And guess what? That very next late summer, we were eating apples that we picked off of our very own apple tree in our backyard. In fact, we had 3 full fruit-bearing apples in our backyard. And the thing is that over the course of the next several months, without having this in my foresight or knowing, an opportunity came up to purchase a home that would be the home that the children would grow up in. And I had no idea in that moment in the kitchen when I aligned with the beliefs. But that possibility for more than I thought could happen allowed a space to open up. And who's to say, maybe Justin did know that they were meant to grow up in a home with apples in the backyard. And that little seed planting allowed it to manifest. So that's how our imagination sort of blends with beliefs, and that in each moment we have a choice of moving towards the limiting belief, which may be fact. I mean, it is fact that little apple seeds don't grow into fruit bearing trees in 1 year. But when we align with fluid beliefs and say, well, I do understand that to be the way things work, but I'm open to another possibility that something is going to unfold that I can't see right now, then we leave space for ourselves to create what we consider miracles, but really are the nature of life. So let's go a little deeper into the beliefs, and maybe some of the beliefs that you are being faced with as you claim whatever it is you desire. Maybe it's a more intimate relationship, or more money, or a career that brings you passion, health. There's so many things that we desire in this lifetime, and allowing ourselves to upgrade our influential beliefs will make more space for them to be created. So you have been gifted a set of beliefs since the moment you were born. And I say gifted because I think that the people who have passed these beliefs on to you did it with good intention, or not much thought at all, but certainly not to be malicious. But from the moment we're born, our family, our friends, society as a whole, the media, the television, cartoons we watch as children, all school, all give us a set of beliefs. They're constantly putting beliefs into our mind. And if we don't take time to think about these beliefs, to evaluate them, and to see if we would like to upgrade them, or even if we'd like to accept them or not accept them, then we simply move through a life that was laid upon us instead of one that we're choosing. So, for example, if you were taught that you should just grow up and go to college and get a good job and work and save money and have joy in your retirement, you may just do that. And you may endure a lot of um, uncomfortable situations in order to align with that belief. As in, you may pick a career that is supposed to be substantially financially prosperous and create that space for you, rather than the career you want, which may have potential but may be slightly more risky. So we're constantly choosing based on the beliefs that were placed on us. When we step back and we start to evaluate and pay attention to these beliefs, that's when we get to be in more control of our life, because now we get to be creating it. We get to choose which beliefs we align with. And in like the situation in which I spoke about a minute ago with my children, we get to decide when we want to leave space for miracles or unforeseen possibilities that will bring us further joy. So I want to kind of break down beliefs. So if you've been thinking since your imagination, or you can reflect back on your life when you've had beliefs that were just passed down to you, sometimes you'll notice, like, oh, I want to go in this direction, and here comes this other belief that I don't know if I believe or not anymore, but that's just the way it was done. Which, if you ever hear the term, it's just always been done that way, or that's just the way we do it, that you can be pretty sure that you are facing a belief that you have not evaluated. So when we look at these beliefs and we start to explore them, you'll notice that there are different sort of categories of beliefs. Those first ones that come to mind that really maybe popped out at you when you started to think about the possibilities of imagining a more magnificent life, those are the core beliefs. Those are the ones you say out loud. You may even say, I believe in this, when you're speaking with friends or standing up for your rights, whatever that is. So when those core beliefs come up, we know them. We may even know where they come from. We may not. We might just be thinking, well, that's the way it is. But we're pretty much aware of them. And we have a choice in each moment whether to align with them. And most of the time, until we stop to think, we just align with them because that's what we always did. Underneath that, you're going to find the quieter beliefs, the more subtle beliefs. And these beliefs are ones that, when we notice them, we may even question whether we believe them to be true, and yet they're still influencing us. And there's three categories of these beliefs, as I see it. There's supporting beliefs. Now, this would be a belief that supports your core belief. And so it makes sense that that's influencing you. It endorses that core belief by supporting it. An example of that may be, I am a healer or a caretaker. If you have a belief that you are a caretaker, maybe since you were a little child, everyone's, you played with dolls or stuffed animals, and everyone said, oh, you're so good. You're good with, you would get that grade that you were good with sharing in kindergarten, right? Plays well with others. You were always taking care of people, even from when you were little. And maybe people started to rely on you, come to you for support. You have a healing smile. All of those things that maybe identified you even before you were aware of what they were meaning. Now, as you're older, you may consider yourself a healer or a caretaker, and that's a core belief that you have. And so you're going to make decisions based on that. Now, some supporting beliefs underneath that would be that I attract or like friends and partners who are in turmoil or need help, unhealthy, right? So you may not think, oh, that's not what I want. I'm not looking for an unhealthy partner that I can care for. I'm not looking for someone who always needs to rely on me for emotional support. And I play that role even in every friendship. They may not feel true to you, but that underlying belief does support the healer or the caretaker in you. So you may continue with that process and not adjust things if you don't take time to notice that. Um, it, and some of them could even be more complimentary, like I'm great with people. And you end up going into social work or nursing and not consider the fact that you're also a brilliant creative artist or something to that effect. So those supporting beliefs enhance a belief that you have aligned with as a core belief, whether you want to evaluate it or not, and then they support it. The countering belief is the next one. And that countering belief is it's the opposite, and yet it supports the core belief. So let's say that there's a belief that you want to create this brilliant life that we're talking about, and something in that. And then your belief that pops up is, I'm unworthy of it. And you might recognize that belief. You may have played out in a lot of different ways. I'm unworthy. You may not accept when people give you gifts or want to buy you dinner. You might be like, oh, no, 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 let me pay. So things like that could pop up with unworthy. And you may start to tell yourself that you're not going to be able to create the life you desire because of this unworthy belief that has somehow attached to you. Now, a countering belief, a countering subtle belief that you may not be paying attention to, that is probably in there because it is in most people, you may actually think you're very powerful or very special. And you may believe that you deserve something. You may believe that you can create this life, that you think that you have special gifts or abilities that allow you to create opportunities. And there might be a part of you that feels that, or really believes that you'd be really good at helping the world if you created this life you're desiring, which is likely because we're all creators. At our core, we're all creators, and we are all extremely powerful. So inside of us, the belief that we're powerful is right in there in most of us. And so, how is that a counter belief that supports the original belief? If you haven't accepted that power, that specialness, if you have a guilt or a judgment over it, every time you feel that power inside of you, you will actually enhance the other belief of unworthy because it's more comfortable if you don't look at it and choose consciously to change it, which is really easy. And we're going to do that. We're going to give you some steps to changing it soon. So just bear with me, and then we're going to have here's what we got, and now we'll switch it real quick. So the third subtle belief is relationships. And this is when a relationship, a desire to support a relationship in some way, or consideration of other people's feelings is outweighing your belief or desiring. And this one usually has an emotional effect. And I'm going to use a loaded one. This is one that I've noticed is loaded in a lot of areas. If I ever put it up on social media, it gets big. And it's not political, believe it or not. It's spanking, right? So I raised my children without spanking. They are now fully sufficient, beautiful, serving adults in the world, and they were never once spanked. Now, I am an advocate that there are other ways to parent at the same than spanking. I was spanked as a child, and I turned out okay also. So I'm not judging my mother when I say that you don't have to spank, but my mother may feel that she's being judged because she's spanked. And that can go with anyone, friends, people you don't know on social media, because that relationship, well, if you change this belief, then I am going to be faced with guilt. Or in the relationship case, then someone you care about will be hurt if I change this belief. And those supporting beliefs will lead you to accept something that you don't necessarily align with. So we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we are going to talk about how to upgrade these into fluid beliefs that allow you to create the life you desire.
You can find all the Satonic products at our Go shop on Soulivity at go.soulivity.com now. Shop for beauty products, skincare, hair care. It is all there at the Go shop. Go shop Soulivity.
Hello and welcome back. We are talking about beliefs and how we can upgrade our influential beliefs in order to create that life we desire. We've gone through just an underlying idea that everything that is put onto us since the moment we're born is creating beliefs inside of us that we want to upgrade or evaluate on a regular basis. Because if we don't, then we are going to just live a life that was put on us instead of creating the life we desire. So we talked about the core beliefs, and these are ones we really know about. Whether we're agreeing with them or not agreeing with them, we know that they influence us. We've heard them a lot. We kind of just default to them, and it's a very common part of our personality. And then there's subtle beliefs underneath those, and those subtle beliefs, they are going to influence our core beliefs. So as you were looking and imagining the life that you want to create, you probably first were hit with some core beliefs like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't know if I'm worthy. What if I change? What if it hurts my relationships if I change in this way? Those things, the whatever way you word those things, they've probably started to kind of poke at you as you started to imagine that life you really wanted to create. And then there's those subtle beliefs. And we talked about the supporting ones, the countering ones that actually end up supporting, but they seem like the opposite. But then if you realize it, that push against the opposite pushes us forward to that core belief. And then those relationship ones, those ones that if I change this belief, maybe I'm going to hurt somebody I care about. So now that you know those, now that you understand that concept, I want to give you a exercise that you can do. Now, you can do it right here with me for your first one, but you're going to do it on a regular basis. The idea is that this becomes something that is so innate in your personality that you do it every day without even noticing it. So whenever you get faced with a belief, a new one that might be coming at you from media or from the societal changes or new relationships, or old ones that have been with you for a long time, you will eventually just automatically be checking in and choosing the fluid belief that you want to align with in that moment. So if we go back to the beginning when I spoke about Justin and the apple tree and the choice I had whether to stick with a well-known belief in our world that seems like fact that you can't plant a seed in the ground in late summer and be picking apple trees and or apples off your tree in the backyard the next summer. But we saw that you can when you put in other possibilities. So in that moment, I noticed the belief, the core belief of how science works, which I still believe in, but I had another belief that allowed me to say, okay, I can teach Justin about the science of growing a tree and still embrace the possibility that he or his soul knows something else that I don't know, and that I'm willing to upgrade my belief to that if need be. So that's the example. That's what you'll want to learn that you'll be able to do in every moment, so much so that you don't even notice it. So let's get to this. I'll give you the exercises and then you can do it here and you can do it over and over as you go through life and create the life you desire. So, first one, just write down all the beliefs that come to mind when you're thinking about what you want to manifest. The beliefs that support it, the beliefs that seem to contradict it, the beliefs that don't even feel true to you. It might pop into your head, like in the example before, like, I'm powerful. I can create this. I am a powerful creator. When you've been aligning with the belief I'm unworthy, or, spiritual people, good people don't desire big things, whatever those are, you may find some that don't feel true, put them down anyway. All right. So as you've written down some, and that you want to just do, hopefully you even did it while I was chatting, if you want to do it right now, because those are ones that just come to you, right? And those are your core beliefs. That's why they came so quickly, why you could find them. You might have seen a subtler belief that's now surfacing because you're open to it. But for the most part, those are core beliefs. Now, you pick the one that you want to evaluate and evolve right now. And then once you pick that one, now this one I want you to take a little bit longer with. And so you'll probably do this even after the show. So you want to look at the supporting beliefs, the counter beliefs, and the relationship beliefs. So all those subtle beliefs. So think about that. What beliefs might I have that support this? What things come up in my mind that seem to counter it? And yet maybe it is supporting it in some way as I push against it, because maybe I'm a little unsure if I want to claim that other belief. And then relationship beliefs. Which beliefs are coming up that, and this one really in your body, a feeling. Actually, all of them tune into your body, feel it. But relationship ones, that's going to trigger emotions, right? So if I want to evolve my relationship, maybe I would like to create a new form of relationship with my intimate partner, then that would hurt that partner maybe. So beliefs that I should stay and make do, or relationships take compromise, this is as good as it gets, whatever those are, but might hurt another. So go through all those, write as many out as you can. And then you can take a time in between these two and then explore the ideas. Really pay attention to it. Where did these beliefs come from? Go through each one of them. Where did it come from? How has it supported me in the past? Because you wouldn't have a belief if it wasn't supporting you in some way. All right. So we want to be honest about that. How does it support me now? Does it support me now? Does feeling unworthy allow me not to take chances? Maybe. Does it make people like me because I'm always giving? Maybe. So those are things you want to look at. Be real honest with yourself. And then decide, is it healthy? Is it a belief that's going to lead me to where I want to go? And if it's not, would you like to upgrade it? And upgrading is now with a fluid belief. And when we upgrade to a fluid belief, and that's our final step for now, but it's fluid, right? And we know that that belief is fluid because as more information comes in or as we evolve, we may choose a new fluid belief. And we're willing to evolve our beliefs. But for now, we'll pick this belief because it supports me and where I want to go right now. Because we really do need that framework of some beliefs. That's just part of being human. So to say I have no beliefs makes us stagnant. To say I have fluid beliefs allows us to explore and grow without them being limitations. So they support us. Now, if you get to a fluid belief and you don't really believe it yet, like you want to say, I am a powerful, creative force in the universe, but your soul, your heart, your feeling doesn't feel it, then the trick is don't lie to yourself. You're going to know, but you can just add, I'm willing to believe that I'm a powerful, creative force in the universe. And that is your new fluid belief. And then pretty soon, maybe you drop the I'm willing to believe because you start to believe it. And there you are, evolving your beliefs and beginning to create that life you deserve and desire. So we will be back in the next episode. We are going to talk about your finding your flow in finances, finding your financial flow. We're going to just, because I bet you found some beliefs in money and finances. So we're going to talk about that next week. Have an amazing week. And I will see you back next week right here on Soulivity TV.